You know that MRT, there are some seats that's reserved for the elderly, disabled or pregnant women, right? So do you feel that these seats are being occupied most of the time by people who don't really deserve it?
Yeah, true.
So should they leave their seat alone, unoccupied?
You can sit on the seat, but then of course if somebody needs more than you should give up the seat.
But sometimes they like sleeping, like don't bother about you. They just ignore like that. But I just don't bother lah.
You don't bother?
I
don't bother.
You don't like ask them, excuse me, can I have this seat?
Oh no. It's not me. It's not me. For me, everything is all okay lah.
Right.
Yeah, as long my kids have a seat, it's okay already for me.
Not giving up a reserved seat to someone who needs it more than you. Or worse still, pretending not to see them. Just how gracious are Singaporeans? In a survey done on the State of Graciousness in Singapore, it was found that Singaporeans are more concerned about their behaviour in public than in social circles like the office. But still, there were improvements in graciousness at home and surprise, surprise, on public transport. In its second State of Graciousness in Singapore survey, the Singapore Kindness Movement gave our Graciousness Index a 61. That's an improvement of 3 points compared to last year's 58. However, there were still areas which saw a decrease in satisfaction levels, such as how considerate we are to the elderly, disabled, and pregnant.
I think it's a perception thing again, because the survey is basically about perception. One of the things that is possible as a possible answer is that we could be in a rush. Life moves on a lot faster these days. Public transport is more hectic. So perception is the elderly and the disabled may be a bit slower. So we see that sometimes it's that people do give up or people do help, but it may not be immediate. So the perception could be that, hey, we are not so concerned about them anyway. It's a perception.
Right.
Because I do see quite a lot of people do give up.
1,000 people participated in the survey, which rates the level of graciousness among Singaporeans. The choices range from unhappy to indifferent to delighted. 8% of 50 to 55-year-olds surveyed were most unhappy with the level of graciousness here. Their main dissatisfaction? People who did not give up seats to those in need, namely the elderly and pregnant women.
Yeah.
People don't give up their seats?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Even when you're carrying a kid, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What do they do then? Do they like pretend not to see you, or?
Just pretend that nothing is happening.
How about when you were pregnant?
Also don't get any seat also. I still have to stand even though MRT or bus.
Why do you think this is so?
I think some people is not really considerate about it lah. But then, as you see, if you don't really require the seat, of course you have to give up the seat. You see,
They don't bother. They like sometimes the eye contact, but they don't let me sit.
Okay.
They just see only.
Right.
Like, you want to sit or you don't want to sit? They just don't bother.
Right.
For me, it's okay because for me, I used to stand up. I don't really like to sit.
Okay.
That's why it's for me like, you want to give me a seat? Okay. You don't let me sit? Also okay.
Right.
Yeah, so for me, everything's all okay lah. But you know, when sometimes like old ladies, like sometimes people like just sitting down and sleep, only pity them lah sometimes, you know.
有没有人会给你坐他的位？
有时候有时候没有人来管你有时候有些人很好，不一定啦，看那个人啦。
对。So MRT 的时候呢？
也是一样啦。
是一样啊。
有时候他有时候好人他就让你坐咯。
对。
有时候他不让你呢没有办法咯。
Public transport is one area where Singaporeans lack graciousness. Another main contention involves students. Find out what we mean in the next clip.